Hello and welcome to our demo of the Eperi gateway for SharePoint Online. Before I go into the actual demo, I would like to say a few words about the solution as such and also about the demo environment that we are using. The solution, as the name suggests, acts as a transparent gateway in the data stream between the user and the cloud application. This could be pretty much any application in the market, but today we're going to concentrate on Microsoft 365 and SharePoint Online. The gateway, like I just said, sits in the data stream and makes sure that any kind of content, any document, any data that goes into the cloud is encrypted, tokenized, and protected before it leaves the secure environment and goes into the cloud, making sure that nobody except yourself as the data controller is able to look into this data. This is valid for not only hackers, but also for Microsoft themselves and also for US law enforcement agencies that might have an interest in looking into your data. So you are the only instance that is able to decrypt content that goes into the cloud. Nobody else can do that. The Eperi gateway is a multi-protocol gateway, which is particularly necessary for Microsoft 365 because M365 is not just one solution, it's actually a number of solutions that has been bundled together to form an online office packet. So this means that we need to support quite a few applications, and we do this, like I've just mentioned, through a number of protocols. The most obvious one being HTTP and HTTPS, because like any other cloud application in the market, there is a web interface for all of the applications, for emails, for SharePoint, for OneDrive, for Teams. So you've got web interfaces for pretty much everything. So this has to be supported, and we do that with a proxy, HTTPS proxy that can be set up either as a forward or a reverse proxy. Most typically, both reverse and forward proxy are set up and used at the same time or made available at the same time because both ways of configuration have their own advantages in certain situations. But I'm going to get into that a little deeper in the actual demonstration. Apart from the obvious HTTP, HTTPS access, there are, of course, many other protocols more in the background, like MAPI over HTTP and HTTPS that is used for desktop clients, desktop Outlook that, of course, still needs to work for your users. We have ActiveSync that is used for mobile devices. We have APIs like EWS, Exchange Web Services, that are typically used by third-party applications like backup tools and journaling and stuff like that. So we actually deliver a gateway that covers all the aspects of Microsoft 365, even including old protocols like SMTP, because SMTP email is still a big part of Microsoft 365, even though it's constantly losing ground to more modern conversation methods like Teams, which is of course also supported. Right. So that much as a quick overview on what the solution actually does and how it works. Let's just go into the demo at this point. So what you're seeing here is I'm already logged into an Office 365 or a Microsoft 365 environment. I'm here in SharePoint Online, and I'm using a machine that is a domain member. And that machine has gotten a proxy auto configuration setting through group policy that makes sure that all traffic that is supposed to go to Microsoft 365 is actually piped through the gateway and secured this way, and all other traffic that has nothing to do with Microsoft 365 bypasses the gateway, making sure that the gateway and the protection mechanisms don't get in the way of any other business. So this is typically the easiest solution for managed devices. domain members and stuff like that using forward proxy, because in this case, the user doesn't need to know anything specific to use the gateway. So in fact, the user doesn't even realize that there is a gateway because the URLs are all the same. The way of using the system is exactly the same as it was before. I've mentioned the reverse proxy, which also has its advantages when it comes to external users, guest users, partners that want to collaborate inside of a SharePoint group or something like that. For these people or for these users, it might be better to actually use the reverse proxy, because that means that on those clients, no changes need to be made, no proxies need to be set. Those external users just get a different URL to access your secure Office environment. And given that they have permission to actually use the gateway, they will then be able to collaborate with your users to download files that have been shared with them and so on. So that is why you normally use both forward and reverse proxy for certain situations. Right. From a usage perspective, this is not going to be very spectacular, because, I mean, that's actually the goal. We don't want to be spectacular. We want to work as if we aren't even there. So that means that, of course, you can log into your SharePoint. You can go and look into PDFs, for example, or text files, or Word documents, Office documents of any kind. That will work just as usual. So this is really completely business as usual, including Word documents, including all other Office documents, and also including collaboration functionality, which is actually really cool, because this is one of the things that you would expect to break first when you work with encrypted data. But as a matter of fact, it doesn't. I can actually show you that by logging in to SharePoint with another user on a different screen. And I'm going to do that now, and I'm going to open that same document from another browser just now. And we've just seen this person popping up here. So you see that a second person is now working on this document. And I can here in real time follow around what this other person is doing in my document. I can see if they write anything into that document, and I can do the whole collaboration stuff as Microsoft enables that for their Office products. Of course, also when this other user logs out again, I will see that as well, because there's a pop-up saying that this person is no longer there, which means at this point I can now put this document back into a shape that I actually like. And after I've done that, it's automatically saved. And yeah, everything is good. So collaboration features in Office Online still working as you would expect, which is pretty cool. Okay, I mean, it's very, very easy for me to say that this is all encrypted documents and you're all safe and everything still works and so on and so on. It would actually be nice if I could actually prove that, which I can. And I can do this by using a second browser, which is set up with a plugin that is set to bypass all proxies. So this way I simulate a browser that is unable to use the gateway, but still has managed to somehow get into that account, into an account that has access to our SharePoint infrastructure, because I'm seeing the exact same document. So I've managed to break in. I'm super happy at this point, because now I have access to all of those documents. So if I now go and try to open that same Word document again, this is what I see. I see nothing. So here, Word just tells me that this document cannot be opened because it seems to be broken. I can, at this point, try to open it in the desktop app or download it. You have to trust me when I tell you that this is definitely broken. It's encrypted. But I can also show you what that actually looks like by using a specific behavior that Microsoft 365 has with text documents, because text documents is the only kind of document that Office always tries to open, no matter if it's readable or not. So I've got a couple of text documents in here. that I can open in my secure environment. So you can see I'm in my secure browser, and I can see that I've got this lorem ipsum document here, which I can read perfectly well. If I try that same thing over here in my unsecure browser, in that browser that doesn't have any permission to look into my content, and if I try to open that same document again, it actually opens this time, but you can now really see that this is garbage, nothing you can make use of. But it's not actual garbage, which is also something you can see in here, because we can see a couple of headers. That, for example, here en underscore tells me this is an encrypted document. I can see the algorithms that have been used to create this encrypted content, and I also see a unique ID that every object gets that we encrypt, which makes sure that we can actually still use search, including full text search, in Microsoft 365. So to put it in a nutshell, what we do with our solution, no matter if we are talking about Word documents or text documents or emails or chat messages in Teams or something like that, what we do is we take this and we convert it to this. And this is all that always goes into the cloud at any given time. This is what an NSA, an FBI, a Microsoft, a hacker would get if they managed to break into our environment. This is all they get. Right, so that's exactly what we are doing. I've just mentioned search. Of course, I want to show you that as well by just using some unique word, which is not very difficult in this text because it's full of unique words. But I've just copied this word out, and I now do a search up here for this word. And we see that, well, that there's actually 2 documents with that word in it, because a colleague already saved another lorem ipsum text somewhere else. But this is the text that we've just been using and just been looking at. And if I look into that, you can see that I can read it, I can work with that, and the full text search actually works. And to show you that we are not using any mechanism that actually weaken the encryption, and to make Microsoft able to actually find something, I'm trying to find that same document over here in my bad browser. So I'm also using that same word, and we will find that we don't find anything, which means that word doesn't exist anymore in that document, because it's only encrypted content that we can see. Right. And at this point, I'm actually pretty much done with my demonstration. I've showed you everything that I wanted to show you. Obviously, there's much more details worth talking about when it comes to your specific environment. And I would like to invite you to get in touch with us directly, so we can make a demonstration that goes into your requirements and into your environment and all that. But for now, for an overview demonstration, I'm done. I hope you are reasonably impressed, and I thank you for your time, and goodbye.